Welcome back to Iraqi Dinar today, where we focus on understanding the real economic developments shaping Iraq and the possible future of its national currency. Around the world, investors, analysts, and economic observers continue asking the same question. After decades marked by conflict, political change, and ongoing reforms, has Iraq finally reached a point where its economic stability could support a significant shift in the value of the Iraqi dinar? The conversation surrounding this topic has lasted for years. Some experts believe Iraq has been steadily building a stronger economic foundation, while others argue that additional reforms and time are still necessary before any meaningful adjustment to the currency could realistically occur. To truly understand this issue, it's important to move beyond speculation and focus on the real conditions shaping Iraq's economy today. When economists evaluate whether a currency can strengthen, they rarely examine the currency alone. A nation's exchange rate is usually a reflection of the overall health of its economic system. Political stability, security conditions, financial reserves, government institutions, and the strength of the banking sector all contribute to how a currency performs internationally. Iraq's journey over the last 20 years has been anything but simple. In the early 2000s, the country faced extreme instability, conflict, and widespread disruption across nearly every part of its economy. During those difficult years, simply maintaining basic financial order was already a major challenge for policymakers. Over time, however, Iraq began the long process of rebuilding its institutions and restoring economic functionality. A major turning point came when large-scale extremist territorial threats were pushed out of key regions several years ago. That shift allowed national leadership to gradually redirect attention from urgent security crises toward rebuilding the country's economic framework and governance systems. Before we go further, if you value clear explanations about what's actually happening inside Iraq's financial system, take a moment to like the video and share your thoughts in the comments. Your engagement helps more people discover accurate discussions around the dinar. Because the next piece of this puzzle focuses on how security improvements started opening the door to economic rebuilding, foreign investment interests, and a new phase of financial reforms that many observers believe could shape Iraq's monetary future. In the years following the defeat of major extremist threats, Iraq gradually entered a different phase of national rebuilding. While security concerns have not disappeared entirely, the environment across much of the country has become significantly more stable compared to the most turbulent years of conflict. Major cities have returned to regular economic activity, government ministries continue operating, and reconstruction projects have been expanding across multiple regions. This improvement in stability plays a vital role in economic development because large-scale investment and long-term business planning require predictable conditions. Companies, financial institutions, and international partners typically avoid committing major capital in areas where instability remains high. As security conditions improved, Iraq slowly began attracting renewed interest from foreign investors. Several sectors started drawing attention, including energy development, telecommunications, construction, logistics, and transportation infrastructure. These investments do more than bring financial capital into the country. They also introduce technical knowledge, modern equipment, and management expertise that can help strengthen local industries and create employment opportunities for Iraqi citizens. Economic activity generated through these partnerships gradually expands productivity inside the country. However, economic recovery is influenced by more than security improvements alone. Political stability also plays an essential role in shaping investor confidence and long-term economic planning. Iraq operates within a parliamentary political system where multiple political parties must negotiate, cooperate, and build governing coalitions. At times, this process can move slowly, and disagreements between factions may delay legislation or policy decisions. Even so, the continued operation of Iraq's constitutional institutions remains an important indicator of structural stability. National elections continue to occur, government leadership transitions follow legal procedures, and policy debates take place within the formal framework of parliament. For international observers, this functioning political structure signals that Iraq's governance system remains intact even during periods of negotiation or political tension. In many emerging economies, the ability of institutions to continue functioning despite disagreements is considered a critical marker of long-term stability. If you've been following these developments closely, let me know in the comments what you believe is the most important factor influencing Iraq's economic progress right now. Your perspective adds valuable insight to the conversation, and if you're finding this analysis helpful, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss upcoming updates. Because in the next part, we'll examine the economic backbone of Iraq itself, including oil revenues, diversification efforts, and the financial reserves that play a crucial role in supporting the country's currency stability. A central pillar of Iraq's economy remains its vast energy resources. The country ranks among the major oil producers in the world, and crude exports generate a large share of government income as well as the majority of foreign currency entering the nation. When global oil markets are strong, Iraq's financial position typically improves quickly. Higher export revenues allow the government to fund infrastructure projects, expand public services, and invest in rebuilding different sectors of the economy. These funds also support national budgets and strengthen the country's ability to maintain financial stability. At the same time, heavy reliance on oil creates an important challenge. Because government income depends so heavily on energy exports, fluctuations in global oil prices can significantly influence Iraq's economic conditions. When oil prices fall, national revenues can decline rapidly, placing pressure on government spending plans. This reality has encouraged many Iraqi policymakers to push for broader economic diversification. Expanding industries beyond oil has become an increasingly important objective for long-term economic stability. Diversification involves developing sectors such as agriculture, manufacturing, transportation logistics, tourism, and technology services. By strengthening these areas, Iraq can gradually reduce its dependence on oil income while building a more balanced and productive economy. Countries with diversified economies often experience more stable growth patterns, and stronger economic foundations tend to support healthier national currencies over time. Another critical factor economists analyze when evaluating a country's monetary strength is the level of foreign currency reserves held by its central bank. Iraq's central bank has spent years building a significant reserve position designed to protect the nation's financial system. These reserves function as a financial safety cushion, allowing the central bank to stabilize the currency when necessary and manage fluctuations in foreign exchange markets. Adequate reserve levels also allow monetary authorities to maintain liquidity and defend the currency against sudden economic shocks. In global finance, strong reserve positions often increase international confidence in a country's financial stability. They demonstrate that policymakers possess the resources needed to support monetary policy when market pressures arise. If you're finding value in this breakdown of Iraq's economic structure, take a moment to like the video and share it with others following the Dinar discussion. Your support helps this channel continue delivering clear analysis. Because the next section will explore how Iraq's banking reforms, digital financial systems, and international partnerships are shaping the country's financial modernization, and what that could mean for the long-term outlook of the dinar. Another area receiving growing attention is the modernization of Iraq's financial and banking system. For many years, the country's banking sector operated with limited technological capability and relatively weak integration with global financial networks. Transactions were often handled through traditional cash-based systems, and many financial services available in other parts of the world were not widely accessible inside Iraq. Over time, however, reforms have gradually been introduced to strengthen this sector and bring it closer to international banking standards. New electronic payment platforms are expanding, digital banking tools are becoming more common, and regulatory oversight within the financial system has been improving step by step. These upgrades may not always attract major headlines, but they represent an essential part of building a modern economy. Efficient banking systems improve financial transparency, help reduce corruption risks, and allow businesses to operate more smoothly within both domestic and international markets. International institutions have also supported Iraq during this process of financial reform. Organizations such as the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank have worked with Iraqi authorities to provide technical guidance, financial frameworks, and policy recommendations designed to strengthen fiscal discipline and modernize economic governance. These partnerships can help improve investor confidence by showing that Iraq's financial policies are increasingly aligned with global standards. Infrastructure development is another important component of Iraq's long-term economic progress. Across the country, projects involving transportation networks, ports, power systems, industrial zones, and logistics corridors are gradually being expanded. Infrastructure serves as the backbone of economic productivity. Efficient transportation allows goods to move faster, reliable electricity supports manufacturing and technology industries, and improved ports strengthen trade connections with global markets. At the same time, challenges still remain. Issues such as bureaucratic delays, corruption concerns, and occasional political disagreements can slow the pace of reform. Economic transformation rarely occurs quickly, and most nations require many years of consistent progress before major structural changes fully take hold. For anyone following developments related to the Iraqi dinar, the most important point to remember is that a currency's value reflects the overall strength of an entire economic system. Security conditions, governance, financial reforms, infrastructure expansion, and diversification all contribute to building long-term monetary stability. If you want to stay informed about real developments shaping Iraq's economy and the future of its currency, make sure to like the video, share it with others interested in global finance, and subscribe so you never miss the next update. And as always, continue watching closely because the next economic signals coming out of Iraq may reveal even more about where the dinar's long journey is heading next.